With 4 games to go, Bournemouth are due to face 3 of the top 7. We've got 7th at home, we've got 4th away, and on Saturday, the 2nd place team away, and that is Arsenal. And look, we've got the chance to do a double over the wounded but maybe part-rested Gunners at the weekend. Both our clubs' last matches, they felt kind of pivotal. Theirs was at PSG, they lost, but all hope is not lost for Arteta's side. Similarly for us, we dropped points against Manchester United. It wasn't ideal for what we want to achieve, eh? Can we still get Europe? Maybe, but it's a tall order. Plus, we're probably relying on other teams to drop points. At least we've got Evanilson back, though. His red card against United, as you'll have seen in the week, was reversed. So at least we're primed to give it a good go at the weekend, eh? Question is, though, Tom, can we?
Will we go to second place Arsenal and win? No. But yeah, I definitely think, listen, they're second for a reason, they're a top side, but context is everything, and if anyone could pick a time to play them, it'll be in between 2 legs of a semi-final in the Champions League, mate. So we've got to try and take advantage of that, and obviously the decision with Ever has helped us in that as well. And listen, like you said, mate, we've got, it's a real tough end because Leicester's nice, but it's the last game, so it could be too late. Yeah. But the other 3, Man City, Villa and Arsenal, what have they all got in common? None of them have beaten Bournemouth in the Premier League this season.
They also all play the way we want them to play, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. You can definitely look at that. I've said it enough times about kind of the Ipswich game, and actually weirdly the Leicester game that we've played this season where we've struggled against that low block. So I think with us it's always important. I know it's a bit of a cliche, but get that first goal and then just keep making them come out and hope for the counters. And we're in a decent place. Obviously there's still no Christie, but apart from that, with Ever being rescinded, we'll be absolutely fine. So yeah, why not?
So can we get a result against them? We did in the reverse match. That was at home. They were a man down though. This is what happened. Stop going on about Saliba, lads. Let it go.
They are checking for a possible red card. No way. He's being asked to look at the screen. It's a red.
Oh, what's this? What's this? Oh my God! It was a 2-0 win at Dean Court, but unfortunately for them, Saliba, one that rhymes, see, it works, not Senesi. He got sent off due to pulling back Evanilson when it looked like Ever was going to be clean through. Ben White was covering, and that was maybe the sticking point with VAR not trying to work out whether he could have got the ball or not. But either way, I think Saliba might have got it because he's faster than Ever. But either way, Ever was tugged back. Saliba was gone. I remember actually being on the North Stand concourse at half time. I was chatting to Mark Jackson, and he said to me, look, it was 0-0 at the time. He said, can we get a result? If we do, it's probably going to be the biggest result that we've ever had as a football club.
I think at the point it definitely was. I think he was right. But obviously since then, we eclipsed it a few times, I would say. But I agreed at the time for sure. You were in the North Stand. Were you in the North Stand for when we beat City, by the way? Can you remember? Because if you were, then why the hell do you keep moving around? Because if you were in there for Arsenal and City wins...
Who scored on our City win? Yes, I was in the North Stand, yeah.
So, there you go. I'm just going to say that again. So you're going to get loads of grief now for keep moving. It was a game where it felt like, oh my God, we've got a chance to beat them. But it kept going and kept going and kept going. And I thought, are we just going to run out of time a little bit? And then in the end, it was expertly worked corner kick that done it. So yeah, it was a lovely way to win it, mate. I think obviously we got the penalty afterwards as well, which I think was Clivert's first time on penalties because I ever missed it at Chelsea. But to open the scoring in the way we did was lovely, because loads of teams are copying it now, mate.
Yeah, that goal was probably one of the finest set pieces I've seen, but we've had a fair few, but it's just the man that was on the end of it that we didn't quite expect. And,
Yes,
goal machine, because he also scored again at Southampton, didn't he? What a goal that was. So 2-0 to AFC Bournemouth. Last time at the Emirates, though, wasn't so good. 3-0 defeat. That was when Bukayo Saka put them 1-0 up just before half-time. This was May last year. And it was a dodgy penalty by the sounds of it.
Havertz just kicked Travers and they got a penalty for it. So weird. We've just spoke about literally 2 football matches, controversy in both. Surprising.
Funny that. But Trossard and Declan Rice made it 3-0. Since our home win against them this season, their form's actually been pretty decent. I mean, I say that, they've rarely lost, but they have drawn a lot of matches. And I think the difference between them and Liverpool is that the Ds have been converted to Ws for Liverpool, and they've won the title well early. But you know what? It's been a funny old season, Tom, because the one season where Man City take their eye off the ball.
Yeah.
And then Arsenal should be there, and they're not.
I think before the start of the season, if you had said City are going to drop off, who's going to win the league, I think the majority of people would have said Arsenal because of the place they're in and the place they've become under Arteta. It's like they're slowly getting there. Yeah, you've got to give credit to Liverpool, of course, but Arsenal definitely haven't been at the level that they have in the previous couple. And I don't think anyone really... I've seen a lot of pundits and things showing their start of the season predictions, and people were struggling to get Liverpool in the top 4. So never mind them. So fair play to Liverpool, they deserve credit for that, and slots come in. And I do sometimes think, going off a little bit here, but people always want new signings. They always want glossy new signings, make it sexy, let's make the team better. Liverpool do nothing. I think they bought Chiesa, didn't they?
And Marmadashvili, who can't play for them anyway,
They do nothing, and they romp the league. And sometimes I think that continuity, that, you know what I mean, just having that, they all know their jobs, they all know what they're doing.
And also, I think Slot's football philosophy wasn't that dissimilar to what Klopp's was.
Yeah, probably a little bit more controlled, but as you say, not too dissimilar. And I do think sometimes that works. And it's almost like right now they're on top again. Now they can add a few bits and they know where they're at. So, they deserve to win it, mate, and Arsenal will be really annoyed. It's all depends on the Champions League for Arsenal. I mean, they might as well just throw this game.
Yeah, I mean, they might as well. Who needs it?
But they literally, it's all on the Champions League. If they overturn it against PSG, then I think they'll win it. Because I just think if they went to Paris and knocked Paris Saint-Germain out, it would feel like they've been to the Bernabeu and won. I think people are forgetting that. They won at Real Madrid.
That would be a kind of chest-out moment for Arsenal, wouldn't it?
And PSG, you've got to remember, they actually, in their 2 legs against Liverpool, the game they won was at Anfield. Like, they actually weren't as good at home. So Arsenal are in it, for me, mate. They just got to make sure they don't play any of them at the weekend, because, you don't want to risk anything.
If you're about to say the same thing as me, we won't even say it. Do you know what we're going to say? Let us know in the comments. Right, let's take a look at the league table. Mikel Arteta's side, with 4 games to go, they're looking to finish in second spot for the 3rd season in a row, after Liverpool, of course, were confirmed as champions. Of course, Arsenal on 67 points at the moment. Last season, they had 89, 2 points behind Man City. And then the season before that, they finished with 84 points. That time, 5 points behind City. So they're not going to reach the totals this time. Bournemouth are 10th.
At what point do you think, because like when it's like Bournemouth v Arsenal, you think, well, what have we got over them? At what minute? So guess this, actually. At what minute do we sing second again, ole, ole, second again? It's the only thing we got. But yeah, we're in 10th, mate. It's weird, because I've been saying for ages, we've got to look at the end fixtures. Got to be Man U at home. I hate this. It's Man U, they're crap. Got to be them at home. Obviously, we weren't allowed to. So I felt really flat, really dejected. I look at the table and go, oh my God, it's only a point. I didn't realise it was only a point. I don't know why. In my head, it feels, it's the fixtures. It's the fact of who we got to play. Fulham have got Villa at the weekend. We relied on Villa. Last weekend to make sure they beat Palace for us. So Palace can't take the European spot. Villa let us down. So I'm not relying on them anymore.
But I mean,
well done Birmingham for winning the league. Record points in League One. Do you know who scored the goal last night?
No.
Ethan Laird, ex-Cherry. Have that, Villa.
What a boy. So look, Fulham and Brighton's matches this weekend, they're not routine, they're not academic. And if they both lose, for instance, and we win, that's actually a 2 points gap when it was a 1 point gap before the Manchester United game. I'm just trying to give you some hope here, okay? Here's some more hope for you. The last 6, the form table.
Wolves.
I mean, we are 11th, Arsenal 6th. And like you rightly pointed out, 6 out of 6 for Wolves.
Gee, honestly, I said this before. What has changed? Something's changed at Wolves. Someone let me know what's changed at Wolves.
I don't know.
Because something's happened. No one's really spoke about it, but something's changed at Wolves has made them a better team.
There was a stat that if the season for Wolves had started when Vitor Pereira actually came in, they would still be 11 points clear of the relegation zone.
Oh, God.
Which is absolute.
Because you thought they were... I remember thinking at one point, with the bottom three that have all gone now, it was only Wolves that could go as well, wasn't it? Yeah. Really. And I mean, gee, fair play to them. That's what... I mean, I always thought they've got players and something needed to change. I'm not sure what, and it's helped them big time.
He was managing a group of... I mean, this could be a Gary Neal conversation, but he was managing a really spectacular group of players that plays a different way to what he wants them to play. And you know what? Fair play, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Let's check out the home and away table whilst we're at it. The home table, Arsenal are second. For Bournemouth in the away table, we're actually fifth. Our away form is better than our home. And can you remember the last time we lost in London?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Last time we lost in... Have we lost in another season?
We have.
In the cup.
Brentford. The Gunners have actually got a good record at home this season. They've won 10 games, drawn 6, losing 1. That was against West Ham. Away, they've got an equally good record, winning 8, drawing 7 and losing 2. But like I say, those draws for them should be wins, and they may have been competing for that silverware. We're here at the QP, the home of AFC Bournemouth fans on a match day. So what's our next home game, mate? Aston Villa, isn't it?
Aston Villa start at 5:30.
You love a half.
Love me a 5:30, mate.
Sensational.
I think I was in here. What was the last game? Man U was 2 o'clock, wasn't it? But I was in here at 11. They opened up, and I left at about 11. So. It was good fun in there. They had a singer on, didn't they? We obviously spoke about in the preview. It was really good, and obviously the sun was out, so it was amazing. And looking for... I mean, imagine if we beat Arsenal and then Villa. The vibes in here, get in here. And if we don't, it's someone of John Sorrows, isn't it?
Right, Cherries have never beaten the Gunners away, but we certainly need something from this game. Can we, though? Well, let's have a look at how Arsenal have been playing recently, because we like to go over their results. Yeah. We'll start from the start of March, mate, where they got a relatively comprehensive win against PSV.
Yeah, 7-1 away from home, wasn't bad, was it?
Quite good.
They're actually, I think I'm pretty confident in saying that I think Ajax are going to win that league. So PSV, I'm not sure which European competition they're in, but I'm looking forward to going there next season potentially. Yeah. It was ridiculous, that game. They were just far too good. They would have been disappointed with a Man U game for sure. Obviously, drawing against United is not. You think going away to United is difficult. Well, I mean, I don't agree. I've never seen, but honestly, it's a piece of piss. And then they did even lose the return leg against PSV when they could play whoever they want. They still didn't play Neto. They were 7-1 up, and they didn't trust Neto, by the way. Make of that what you will. But they beat Chelsea, which is an important win. A bit of a London derby there. Same with Fulham, which was good for us. So I appreciate that. Then it started happening. I think there was an eye then on the Champions League big time. And they obviously drew at Everton, which, to be fair, I think since Moyes got in there, Everton are very, very good at home. I mean, we don't have one of them and not them the cup, but I think they are a tough nut to crack at home. But tell you what, 3-0 against Real Madrid.
Absolutely superb. Those free kicks from Declan Rice, my God.
Wrap him in cotton ball, I tell you. Don't let him kick the ball at the weekend, because you need to make sure he's fit. Yeah. But again, then it turned out with a draw against Brentford, which... Brentford are a good side, but at home, thought they'd win that, but went to the Bernabeu and not only got the job done, but won the game, and then smashed Ipswich, which Ipswich were on the ground, but they've still got to do the job. But again, silly draw. I think they looked like they were going to beat Palace, and then it was Mateta had a really nice little lob on Raya, got them the point, and obviously then they've had that PSG game, which, as I say, was a weird one to watch, because PSG are a bloody good side, but I suppose we'll only look at it in hindsight, but I didn't think Arsenal were at their best, but they had a couple of massive chances, but then PSG could have scored more. So but obviously 1-0 there's no away goals or anything like that anymore, but Arsenal still got a hell of a chance in my opinion.
I wonder if the key thing is momentum for them, or whether it's resting players. Well, that's what we think. We'll have to talk about it a bit more after we check out the head-to-head. This is our record against Arsenal. All-time record. There are a couple of W's in there. It's not all bad. There's even a draw there as well. That was on Boxing Day 2019.
Jordan Ive scored them 2-1, didn't it?
So Arsenal have won all 8 of their home games against Bournemouth in all competitions, scoring 23 goals and conceding just 4. Bournemouth have actually kept just 1 clean sheet in their last 15 Premier League meetings with Arsenal, though that was the 2-0 reverse fixture this season. In total, against Arsenal away, 1-0, drawn 0, lost 7. Not a great stat. However...
Them stats got to change.
They have
always
to change. 1-2, drawn 2, lost 13. So, yes, mate. Europe, will it affect how they play? We're kind of hoping they're going to put all their eggs in the Champions League basket. One thing I will say to you, though, Arsenal have lost just one of their last 35 Premier League games on the weekend immediately after a midweek European
Dick
match.
when you come out of stuff like that. There's no need for it. But yeah, they've got to, mate. I think also the fact that...
We always talk about the European hangover, like, oh, they're going to have...
I know, but this, in my opinion, this is a little bit different in the sense that, managers will never write something off until it's mathematically done. And they shouldn't. It's mathematically done. Liverpool won the league. There is a slight thing of people going, they cannot come second.
Yeah.
But they've got enough games, they'll come second. This is the one game where, honestly, I've seen a lot of Arsenal fans, they're just all like, just rest them all, we don't care.
Yeah, I agree.
And I agree.
We agree.
The only thing I will say is there's some kind of fringe players that, I'm being funny, if you're a fringe player, and you have an absolute stormer against Bournemouth, you got a chance of getting on in the Champions League. Like it would get you going, wouldn't it? Like,
well, like a Reece Nelson coming on like late.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, don't. And the only thing I will say to Bournemouth fans is to calm, because everyone's going, they're going to rest everyone, get in. Who scored the most goals against Bournemouth more than any other player?
Oh my God, Raheem Sterling.
Jesus. He scored multiple hat-tricks, multiple braces for Liverpool, for City, for Chelsea. The only team I don't think he scored is for
Oh,
us.
shut up.
So that's a worry, because he would definitely play.
Yeah.
It's one of them, though. I think the only thing that's, I say annoying, but they haven't got kind of backup defenders fit, because Gabriel obviously is normally first, but he's injured and Calafiori's injured, so I can't see them changing much at the back. But in forward positions, they will rotate. But like I said, they have got a few injuries anyway. I just can't see them. I don't see why they don't rest up at least 6.
We got to keep getting behind the lads at the weekend. And even if Arsenal score, it doesn't matter, because they failed to win 9 Premier League games in which they've led this season, more than they've had than the 2 previous campaigns put together. Of course, they've got players to watch, mate. I mean, we could name a few. We don't know whether they'll be involved, but Trossard's one of them. He's their form player, you'd have to say, at the moment, scoring 4 in the last 4.
Well, this is exactly what I'll say, so obviously they have been resting bits and bobs in the league, as we saw from the draws and stuff, because they were thinking ahead to Champions League games. And what they've been doing is playing Trossard up front in the league games. Yeah. Then he scored loads of goals, so he started against Real Madrid. So, sorry, not Real Madrid, PSG. So what I'm saying is there might be someone that's thinking, look what Trossard's... I mean, don't get me wrong, part of that was Thomas Partey's suspension in the first leg. The annoyance to that is that now he's available for this game. But, Trossard is a really prime example for, Sterling, for example. He comes in and scores actually against Bournemouth. He's going, I can play. Look at that momentum going into a couple of days' time. You never know, mate. So they will be looking at that. So I think we've got they're still bloody good. Whoever they rest, they've got bloody good players.
They've got a very good side. And, Trossard does come good at this time of year, because last season in April, May, he scored 5 goals. So April's his kind of...
Little stat for you.
Go on.
I think it's right. I'm pretty sure it's right. The only Arsenal player to ever miss a penalty against Bournemouth in America.
Oh, yeah.
Trossard missed. Do you remember we were there in America?
He posted, didn't he?
Yeah, we were in America watching it.
Yeah, well, but... In America?
We were in America,
we did,
there was like loads of Arsenal fans. There was about 5 Bournemouth and we were there. But Trossard missed a penalty, didn't he?
I think I was struggling to brand that kind of video, so I just put outsang on the thumbnail, because we did outsing them.
We did,
didn't we?
There
were a group of like 12 of us.
Yeah.
Max.
Oh, but yeah, I'll tell you what, them 15 quid cans of beer got me going, I tell you. Cheers for letting me loose. But yeah, it was, that was just a weird little stat that just thought off the top of my head then.
They've got players that they're going to be worried about for us, though. I mean, we've got a lot of strings to our bow, and it's very, very crucial that one of them is not playing, which is Evan Nilsson. That's been reversed, thankfully.
Oh yeah, and I think
he's pivotal to how we play.
Oh, absolutely, and I think what's funny is that we're probably going to, I've just done it, talk about the Sterling omen. I've seen some of them do it already going, this is so typical, Evan Nilsson's now going to get the winner. Do you know what I mean? When it's something like that. So, and he's a top player anyway, mate. And let's be real, we spoke about the reverse fixture. He didn't score in the game. He got Saliba sent off and he won the penalty. Yeah. He almost won that game in certain ways. Yes, I think the main one that everyone's talking about that we missed is obviously Ryan Christie. But what I will say is we've kind of been used to that for a while. We know he's out for the season. Yeah. Obviously, players like Cine are good, but they're not guaranteed starters like Christie is. So we're in a decent spot, which we haven't been for a long spell of the season. And yeah, I think in the whole, I thought we played all right in the last few games. Just been little bits. And yeah, my fear at the moment is we're struggling to get that second goal. But I'm really pleased that in the last couple of home games, at least, Semenyo seems to be getting there.
Yeah,
because I think he's probably the one that Arsenal have looked down. A lot of teams have looked down, going, he's Bournemouth's big threat, and then he's fallen off a cliff. And then I think he's coming back a little bit.
You know, another player that needs to get back on the goal trail, Justin Kluivert.
Yeah, he hasn't scored for a fair bit, has he?
No, he
and
hasn't.
he's our top goal scorer away from home, isn't he?
Yeah.
Definitely.
So it would be nice to get him back. So how do we get at Arsenal then? How are they gettable? Is it just picking and choosing our moments? They're going to have a lot of the ball, aren't they?
Absolutely, but they will certainly, have, like you say, loads of the ball, knock it around. Ryan will come really far off his line of play as a sweeper. And if we get our press right, that's the key, mate, if we get our press right. I think that's why I'm really pleased Evers there, because I think his press is very underrated. And, we'll talk about the kind of team prediction at the end, but I think we need to go with the ones that are good at press. The annoyance is, I think this would be the perfect game for Ryan Christie. Yeah. Because they will keep the ball, which we don't mind at all. But if our press is on it, we can catch them. The worry is if they beat that press, and then players are onto us, we could be in a bit of danger. But like I say, we've got most of our fit options back, particularly in defence, so we might be able to cope with them. But yeah, I think pick our moments, mate, and hopefully just be a little bit more clinical in both boxes and see what happens. But yeah, we'll certainly. I don't want us to have much of the ball. I'll take 30% right now, and let's try and nick something on the break and in transitions, and we're more than capable of doing that, mate.
Let's check out the injury news, the latest from premierinjuries.com. We know that Calafiori, Havertz, Jorginho, Gabriel Jesus, Tomiyasu, also, who else? Gabriel, have all been out. Neto, of course, unable to play against us, which is, I don't know.
Do you think, this is not me being horrible, by the way, but Raya, in my opinion, is one of the top goalkeepers in Europe. Yeah. So do you reckon we would play it? We'd rather have him play, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
But then, obviously we know that wasn't going to happen. So Raya's going to play. I know they'll rest players, but goalkeeper's different anyway.
But he's good in the dressing room, isn't he?
Yeah, very good. But if they win the Champions League, by the way, it's a hell of a signing. Yeah. Because he's played one game for him and it was in the Champions League.
Yeah, but did you see what?
Yeah, it wasn't great. But Raya's a top goalkeeper. The annoyance is they won't play their kid in goal because goalkeeper is not the same as it with fitness, so he'll play. But Jesus, most of them have been out for a while though. Yeah. Like I was saying with Christie, it's not like a quick shock. Like, what do we do? They kind of have been preparing for these players to be out. But yeah, I think the only one that will probably come back, I guess, from midweek is Partey. Served his European suspension. Yeah. So.
What about for Bournemouth then? Well, it's the three that we know about. We're hoping that Sinisterra is going to be back at some point soon, but Unal and Christie, so we're in a relatively strong position. But it just shows you that we're still missing Christie now. It just shows you how that one player was really pivotal. We need another of him.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think, obviously it was similar with Cini, but he feels like it'd be too much for him to get on the bench. But it's also the fact that, they're available, but Lewis Cook, they've said, has been carrying something for a bit, so that he's not 100%. Araujo's definitely not 100%. Celeste's been out for most of the season. So even though you go, all these are available, to have Clive only just come back, I think because they're not 100%, you miss Christie's energy even more. But yeah, we can't complain. With the injuries we've had this season, mate, we're in a decent spot. Silla, what are you doing?
Do you want to know the name of the referee, Tom?
You better stay behind there, I'll tell you what.
Do you want to know?
No, I don't want to know.
Okay. All right. I knew that you'd freak out. In fairness, Peter Banks made the right decision. And they pressured him to do that.
Yeah, he was crapping at him. But yeah, no, he did make the right decision. But the one that pressured him to do that, I see he's got a nice little game this weekend. So he got punished like Ever was going. They wanted Ever to. But I couldn't care less who the referee is. Whoever you say is crap.
Jared Gillett.
I didn't know.
Hey, but he refereed us once this season away against Southampton. Come on.
Hey, Jared Gillett again. Right, I hate Jared Gillett as well.
Let's do a play for both then. Right, we've got 11 players that have played for AFC Bournemouth and Arsenal, and we've got them in a 4-4-2, pretty much in their right positions.
Oh, I know what you've done. I've just realised that.
NN.
It's because I was thinking, who the heck? Norberto Neto. Could have gone one. Who's the other one you could have gone with? Leave it to them. There's another goalkeeper. I'll leave it to them. Let them do it. Let them do it.
There is, yeah.
FS.
FS.
I think I'm gonna get this, and it's mental that I knew that straight away. Is it Frankie Seamick?
Yes, it is.
He literally played a couple of games for us.
Yeah.
We had him on loan from Sheffield Wednesday. Why do I know that?
Well done, mate. NY centre back.
Never played centre back. He was more of a right back. Didn't actually kick a ball for us. Nico Yanaris.
I know. I had to put him on that side of centre defence. We've also got RG.
Oh, Ryan Gary.
Yeah.
Is he involved with them or England? He was involved. He's doing some coaching now.
Yeah,
I think he's still about Arsenal, actually.
Left back, NB.
No, I am actually struggling. NB.
He cost the club F all.
Oh, it's Narada Bernard. Was he at Arsenal as a youngster?
Yeah, he was.
This fly is doing my head in.
Yeah, he's doing my head in.
Narada Bernard.
If anyone's listening to YouTube, we're getting attacked by flies.
Yeah.
All right, midfield 4 then. Let's start on the right-hand side.
Is that Willie Hart? Willie Hart? Yeah, I remember he was come from Arsenal. Yeah, true.
Willie Hart. On the left-hand side?
J.A., have you gone Jane Anthony?
Youngster.
Yeah, fair play.
Why not?
None of these are played for both, really. But I like it.
We've got to mix it up, haven't we?
I like it.
Midfield.
How have you not put Jack Wilshere at this team?
Because I haven't.
It's too
that's
obvious,
isn't it?
RH.
Yeah.
Did Richard choose? I didn't actually know that. I just went, he's the first one in my head. JS. Oh, JS.
He's probably up there with Scott Malone.
Oh, I hate the John Spicer.
Yeah.
Up top, CW is Chris Rea.
Christopher Ray.
Ray, that's it, Ray. Yeah, JK is Joker 4.
Yes, it is. Well done.
Why do I know that? Honestly, the more I'm doing this and getting them, I think...
Get a life, mate.
Yeah. Why have I been
Get a life.
single for like decades? I don't understand.
No idea. Right, let's check out Matt's stats then. Taking a look at the last 4 games for Arsenal. This checks out their form, really. So they've had 2 home games, Brentford and Palace, 2 away, Everton and Ipswich. Like Bournemouth, Arsenal have had 3 draws and a win, scoring 8 goals and conceding 4, although they have had the better of the chances in 3 of the 4 games. It was actually against a resurgent Palace where they had the worst XG. The average positions of the starting lineups are below. Arsenal, of course, they push aggressively with a high back line, leaving space behind, like you said earlier, for us to hopefully exploit. It's just going to be unknown, actually, what players are going to be rested and will they adopt that same style? We're guessing they probably will. It'll be an interesting one. And then if you're watching YouTube, you can see the graphic on screen. The following plot compares summary stats of Arsenal and Cherries over the last 4 games. Goal attempts per game and big chances are notably in Arsenal's favour, as are big chances and goals scored. Goal attempts per game conceded are slightly in Arsenal's favour. Defensively, though, things are more equal. And of course, the possession percentage as well, that's heavily in Arsenal's favour, who also have a higher pass completion rate. The proportion of chances from set plays, both for and against, are fairly similar. Cheers, Matt. Check out all his stats on Vitals. Now we're going to check out Tom's predictions. These are the teams. Come on. Right then, we'll start with Arsenal in a 4-2-3-1 then, mate.
Can I just say, if I get Arsenal's team back on, that's more impressive than That's more impressive than if we get Europe.
Yeah.
If I get this team back on. 4-2-3-1, similar to what they normally do. David Raya in goal, for sure. I'm going to bring in Ben White.
Yeah.
At right back, who's actually born down there.
Yeah,
so,
he was,
yeah, we'll boo him for no reason.
Queen Elizabeth school, wasn't it?
That's the one. William Saliba and Kivior are going to have to play centre-half, in my opinion, which is annoying for us. I don't see how they rest them, just because, as we mentioned earlier, Calafiore and Gabriel are out, and Tomiyasu. So, yeah, Saliba and Kivior. I'm going to bring Kieran Tierney in at left-back, just so they can rest Lewis Skelly. Thomas Partey, just because of obviously his suspension. I'm going to put Zinchenko. They've played him a few times, kind of in that midfield role, and I'm going to put him in because I don't see how they would. What I've said in my head is they're going to only play one of Saka, Rice, and Ødegaard. Yeah, that's what I've gone with, and I've gone with the latter. So yeah, Partey and Zinchenko with Ødegaard in front. He's just the one who decided that they'll stick with. Wanyeri on the right hand side, Sterling unfortunately on the left, and I'm going to keep Trossard up front because they've got the option of Marino. So I'm basically saying Marino, Saka, Rice, Lewis Skelly, Timber, all definitely with Martinelli, all rested. So I think with Raya starting, Saliba starting, Kivior starting, I've said they're going to rest 7, I think. Something like that. Yeah, so there's only going to be a few remaining, maybe 6. But yeah, I think that's still a good team.
Yeah, still a good
team. And I do think they'll still have them in reserve.
Yeah.
Because, otherwise it'll just be kids on the bench. But yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. If I get that right, I'll be well happy.
Bournemouth then.
Difficult ball because it feels like a pitch itself. There's only a few few places really. Obviously Kepa and goal, and now that Smith seems to be back and seems to be doing all right, stick with him at right back, Zabadi and Howson centre backs, Milos Kerkez at left back. Again, I went for this last time and I wasn't right, but I'm gonna go with Adams and Cook. Scott's been playing lately, but
He's been doing all right.
He has been doing fine. I just think, is it a chance that Cook's obviously not 100%.
He's got that more experience.
Yeah, and do you maybe just, you've done a few games where you've started Scott and brought on Cook. Do you just switch it up a little bit? And I'm going to go that you will, and I don't like doing unchanged anyway. Semenyo one side. I've been saying Tav for a while, but I think Dango Ouattara was brilliant in the last game, so I'm going to stick with Dango Ouattara.
And he's ideal to press and get behind.
100%. Obviously, I changed this predicted team earlier in the week. I did have Ouattara up front, by the way, because I thought Evan Nilsson was banned and had to have him. But obviously, now that Evan Nilsson's fit, he'll be up front and Justin Kluivert just behind him. So, yeah, I think it kind of picks itself as it's the Scott Cook and maybe a little Tav shout as well.
Okay, what are your predictions, your score predictions? Get them in the comments. We would love to see them. I'm going to give you a few stats before we get to that point. Though they're unbeaten in 4, Bournemouth have won just 1 of their last 9 Premier League games. That has seen Cherries drop from 5th to 10th in the Premier League table. We really need to get another win, don't we? Only Liverpool and Arsenal have lost fewer Premier League away games than Bournemouth this season. So that's a pretty good stat. We've got 4, Liverpool 1, Arsenal 2. However, the Cherries are winless in their last 11 games in London. So whilst we were saying unbeaten for a while, that stat is even more worrying. Each of their last 5 visits, as we said, ending level. And also, each of Arsenal's 3 Premier League defeats this season have come against teams starting the day in the bottom half of the table, which we're not, of course. But the Gunners are unbeaten in their last 18 against sides in the top 10.
Could we be bottom half by the time we play them, by the way?
I think we could, yeah.
Because how far are Brentford off us?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how far, because they've got a midweek game.
No, we can't.
Happy days.
No, we're right.
When are they playing their second game?
However, if they had their game in hand and played it this week, then there's a chance.
No, that's fine. But yeah, the stats are horrific. Do you want me prediction, do you?
Yeah.
Heart or head? I can never predict us to lose.
I'm actually biting my lip at the thought of what you're going to say.
We're going to be 1-0 up.
Right.
Have chances to get the second.
Are you taking me through it chronologically?
Yeah. Chances to get the second. I can't get the second. I can't quite get the second.
You won't see it anyway. She'll be nipping for a point.
Yeah. We're going to be thinking, oh my God, we're going to get over the line, and then they're going to get a penalty. There's not a penalty and draw 1-0. That's where I'm at right now. All right? I just wanted to say where I'm at. That I think we're good enough to go to Arsenal and win. I don't think we'll be allowed to. That's where I'm at.
I think Arsenal will win 2-1.
Oh, that's sound. All right.
So that means we win 2-1. All right? What are yours? Let us know. We can't wait to see you up at the Emirates. Fingers crossed we get the 3 points. And you never know. This season, this match week in this season could mean that it could be back on the cards again.
If we win this, all right, and the ref has a good game.
Yeah.
And by good game, I mean just do their job correctly.
You'll do a part run.
Oh, God, no.
Okay.
I'll get an Australia... I collect football shirts anyway. I'll get an Australian one, but I'll get Gillett on the back.
There you go. Oh, my God.
All right? Well, that's how shocked I would be if he had a good... He won't have a good game.
Okay. There you go.
All right?
Listen to what Tom said. Come on, you Reds.
That was Shez.
See you up there. Come on.
I'm not even worried about that. What, a referee have a good game and not make a bad decision? What?